I've seen kids like this on orange, green, and yellow ball courts. I've seen them in tournaments. In an environment like this, like in a bear pit with the parents all hanging off the railings. Okay, and this poor little kid trying to just make a racket and ball connect. That's child cruelty in my eyes. But I'm just hoping that as I'm flagging these things up with you, you're just seeing how ridiculous some of this is. In what way does it make sense to move kids up to this big court when we know that they're not even secure on the smaller court? And yet we choose to ignore it or not think about it. I'm not sure which. Okay, but it's unraveled pretty quickly. All right. So the next two drills I don't think are going to work either, but I'm going to try it. Let's see. So the other thing we have to try and do is to get control of the height of the ball. Now kids can hit the ball high, but the reason a lot of the time they hit the ball high is because they've lost control of the body. They're falling back, racket face opens, ball goes up. All right, this big swing here, this wrist which has a mind of its own and is doing all sorts of funny things, they've lost control of the racket face. So I'm talking about deliberate control of height. I'm looking for height control with the trajectory. Why? Because kids are going to have to defend. Sometimes kids are going to have to change the tempo of the drill on the red court, not the orange court. Kids can't always have it their own way. So what happens in most programs? First few lessons, I'm going to teach you not to miss. I'm going to teach you to get every ball in court. Then what we're going to do, I'm going to teach you to attack. How good does that sound? I'm going to teach you to attack. And then we'll stop. And the kids are thinking, great, I like this attacking stuff. Oh, wait a minute, what happens if my opponent attacks? Oh, you didn't tell me about that. Don't worry about that one, defending comes later. If we're going to move kids to a big court, there's going to be an awful lot of retrieving, left and right and forwards and backwards. On the orange court, it's not so much the width of the court that's increasing, although there is a challenge there, it's the length. There's going to have to be a lot more vertical movement. Yes, they're going to be able to attack, but they're also going to have to be able to defend. So I want to start to see some evidence that they're in control of the height of the trajectory. So, can you just send me your ball, please? Thank you. All right, so boys and girls, just watch me for a second. We're going to call this one a 2. Boys, girls, listen, hold the ball, please. Okay? All right, so twice the height of the net, that's a 2. 3 times the height of the net, that's a 3. A 3 is the higher ball. It gives us time, right? Because it's slower. It gives us time, you understand? So sometimes I want you to be able to hit the 2, okay? And then sometimes to be able to hit the 3. You see that? Yeah? But I want you to be able to do that when you need to do it. So can we play a rally now where we're playing only 3s? All right, so a rally where we're only hitting the ball nice and high to each other like this. Can you do that? Okay, like that. Can we do that? Let's have a go. It could be the forehand, it could be the backhand, but let's go nice and high. Can you do that? And keep the ball in court. Remember, control of the body, control of the racket, control of the ball, control of the point. Kids are going to have to move back because a higher ball is going to be deeper at some point. And a deeper ball means I'm going to have to recover. I'm going to have to retreat. Well done. Come back. Okay. Don't just stop there and stand there. All right, you have to get back. The next one could be over there, couldn't it? Good boys. Yes. Okay, where are you? Okay. If the ball's going out, let it go out. Otherwise, he's not going to learn, is he? Okay, so I'm just going to talk whilst they're playing. How would I progress this? I'd want them also to show me that they can hit the 2 as well as the 3 and be deliberate about it because of the control of the body and the racket. I then would ask one player on one side to hit the 2 while the other's hitting the 3. So we've got the 2 and then the 3 coming back. Maybe go 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3. All sorts of different combinations like that where I can deliberately control the height of the trajectory because I'm in control of body and racket. And then I want to start bringing a little bit of the defensive feel to this. And we're simply going to ask them that if the ball lands between these 2 lines here, in other words, they're pushed back, they will play a 3 and then recover and play out the rest of the rally so that they learn to associate high and deep with going back high and deep. I think that's beyond these guys, but that's where I want to go with this. And I need them to be able to show me that they're in control of height, to be able to change the tempo of the rally, but primarily because they are going to have to defend. And they're going to have to defend a lot on an orange court. They're going to have to dig balls out left and right, out wide. But they're also going to have to move back a lot. They're going to get attacking opportunities, moving up the court. But in many ways, the toughest one is retreating, going back, and maintaining control and balance. Okay, Mike, where's Mike? How long do I have? Oh, that's a good one from the boss. I don't know. 5? Okay, fine. All right, stop there. If I had my time again, one of the things I would love to be able to do is some sort of little study. There's no reason why I still couldn't do it, but I'm just finding excuses for not doing it. Is to find out what would happen with a group of kids if the only thing I worked on was the serve, the return, and the third shot, and nothing else. How many times are we putting these games onto the court and saying, let's make 100 balls or 50 balls? Or I had a coach come to me recently, he said, oh, my kid's doing really well. She played a 50-ball rally. And I'm thinking, so that's a kid who doesn't know how to finish a point, right? And you want me to be happy? Okay, all right, maybe she's fit, maybe she's patient, maybe she's resilient, but surely in those 25 balls that she's hit, there must have been one where she could have finished it. Don't tell me that they were all balls that she was going to play a neutral shot back. But we put caps on players. 4 balls and then the point goes live. What happens if the first one asks for it to go live? Yeah? So let's encourage the players to make decisions and then discuss those decisions and justify. But if we played nothing but serve-related activities, serving, returning, and third shot, and we started really to work on that, I'm convinced that our players would be better off, not worse off. I believe there's an awful lot of wasted time on court, and the 39th, 40th, 41st shot probably aren't going to be that much good quality. So I'd rather we kept rallies very short and did lots of those, and that we practice more the beginning of the point and the end of the point and not all the stuff in the middle. So I'm absolutely clear in my mind that if we want to get our kids anywhere near the orange court, they have to be able to serve overarm, that's a given. They have to be able to serve with rhythm and fluency, and I want them serving with a continental grip. All right? And we have to work towards that, because as soon as those kids are moving back, remember the increase in the court length. All right, they're going to move back another 3.5 meters when we ask them to serve on the orange court baseline. What are the kids strongest at? Forehands and backhands. Usually forehand rather than backhand, because that's what they play most of. They're stronger at ground strokes than they are at serves. The return at this age is not about short and take back and blocking it back. It's about hitting a forehand or a backhand. So the returner's there thinking, come on, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. I love this stuff. Okay? And the poor old little server is coming to the court and thinking, oh no, it's my turn to serve. And there it goes. So we have a duty. We have a duty to make sure that that serve is at least respectable. We're keeping the net height for that reason, so that the serve can be an offensive opportunity. The mentality needs to be to create the advantage. Can I start to create the advantage with the serve? Now that's going to happen through directional control. It's going to happen through an increase in speed. We're not talking about spin yet, but I want to see the potential for that to start to come later, the speed and spin to come later. If we just focus on direction, depth, and height on the red court. We can talk about speed and spin later. But we've got to start putting those building blocks in place. And the amount of kids I see who step up to the court with virtually no serve to speak of at all. And that's us. That's our fault. I've done it here. How many times have the kids started the rally with an underarm feed? Every time it's a missed opportunity. Every time you're out there doing your individual lessons and you've got your trolley of balls here, you're feeding the ball in. By definition, you're making your player the returner every time. Kenneth said it. We're going to do the forehand, we're going to do the backhand, we're going to do the volley. Oh, we've got 5 minutes left. Yeah, I know the serve's the most important shot in the game, but we've got 5 minutes left. How about a quick trolley of serves before we wrap up? That's how important it is. Look at us. What are we doing? Look in the mirror, guys. This is us, not the kids. All right, so we have to put the serve at the heart of everything we're doing. So the challenge is easy to understand. It's not so easy to do. You're going to serve. Just come over here for me. And I'm going to try to hit the next ball away from you. All right, so if you stand still, I'm going to hit the ball there. If you run that way, maybe I'm going to try and go there. Are you ready? Here's my serve. Where's he going to go? Oh, okay, I'm going to go to there. Okay, can you do that? Yep. Do you understand, boys and girls? All right. And we're going to stop in 3 shots. We're going to stop with 3 shots. No more. I don't want 12 shots. Don't want 27. I want 3. Are we ready? Let's go. I have to say, I don't like these balls for serving. It incentivizes poor technique. There are too many cheap points that are won with these balls when the kids are serving. I'd really like to see the kids serving with a sponge ball. I know we can't today, but you see the kids serving with a sponge ball and they really have to start to work a little bit more with the racket and the hand to make it work. I can hit a very fast serve as a 6-year-old like this, just doing that and winning points all the time. When it's at its worst, the kids are playing on an indoor glass or wooden floor sports hall and the ball's going phew. All I have to do is just to connect and I've won the point and I think I'm a good server. Hey. Okay. Come on, guys. Get yourself a ball and play. Come on. Here you go. There's a ball. Quick, quick, quick. I don't get balls for kids. What, wait, stop. It's a nice serve, but what's this line for? Come up to the line. Yep, let's do it again. Remember, you've got to think about how you're going to make some space for the next shot. Kids don't plan ahead at this age. All right, so all I'm asking them to do is to get the sensation that they can string 2 shots together and hoping that they can find some space. Three shots, boys and girls. Not 5 or 6, just 3. 1 serve, 1 return, 1 third shot. So just whilst the kids play, it's their happiest now, I just want to summarize a few things. First of all, 94%. In a way, I don't really need to say anything else. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a faster ball, a bigger court, more space to run in, more changes of direction, more lateral movement and more forward and backward movement. We're talking about a tough situation for the kids to be in control of if they haven't first had a really good grounding on the red court. Develop game skills. I'm not interested in mechanics here at this age. Let's get game skills where the kids start to boss the ball rather than having the ball bossing them. Let's play with 2 feet on the court. Let's play with a move, a hit, and a recover or a reposition. Let's look to control direction, not hitting the ball down the middle all the time. Let's start to ask questions of our own ability and ask questions of our opponent because of the directions we're going in. Let's look to control height. To break up the tempo of the rally, it's a good illustration of body and racket control and racket face control, but it's also important when we're in an emergency and I need a little bit more time. So let's look to control height through deliberate actions and not through poor balance. Let's work on the serve as a priority in every lesson, at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. Serving or serve-related activity, so that the kids are ready come the age of 7 or 8 years old with a serve that at least can hold its own with an 80 centimetre net, serving from 3.5 meters further back. So they're at least not in deficit as soon as the ball leaves their racket, but at least on a level pegging, and preferably more, so they can start to look to create an advantage with the serve for the next shot. And if we can focus on those things, and if we can prioritize that in an environment that's not too sanitized and not too clean and is not obsessed with perfect technique and mechanics, but is about learning to play the game from a physical and a mental and a tactical and a technical point of view, then with 3 years of really good exposure to that, the kids should be there or thereabouts to move up to the orange court. 94%. Okay, could we just say thank you to the boys and girls and to parents as well? Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I'll be around if anybody's got any questions, either now or later on. Catch me, sign up, get your month free. Thank you very much.
We have kind of time for just one or two questions. Siveri?
Yes, thank you for your question.
You're welcome.
Question for you. Do you impose in developing the kids in the red, orange, and green the size of the racket?
Impose, I don't like that word, with respect. But, of course, there have to be limits, yes. So I would rather in tournaments and in competition that they were using a smaller rather than a longer racket, yes. Okay, so there are limits, but at the same time, sometimes I think it's also good for their skills to play with all sorts of different implements as well. But I guess you're talking about in match play, right?
Match play and development also.
Okay, well, development and match play are two different things potentially, aren't they? You can develop through match play, but you know, the type of exercises that you might do in your program, you could have them, you know, using all sorts of different instruments as well as normal rackets, right? But of course, I'd want them to be limited in the length of the racket on the red court, the orange court, and the green court. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
One more? Robin?
So the last exercise was the 3 balls, and obviously
Yeah.
this court, this guy had a big serve.
Yeah,
So is there a line between the fact that you want them to accomplish the 3 balls,
yeah.
but yet there's a great element of attacking and defensive where the kid's trying to return and catch up, but then yet 75% of the time there might only be 1 ball hit?
I think part of it is to do with the ball. I'd like to see him be as effective with the sponge ball, where it's going to challenge his technique and his ability a little bit more. Clearly, that's not possible today. All right. I don't want to stop kids who are progressing well. I agree with you. He's got something. It's starting to work. So I want to make sure that we capitalize on that, and that we make sure that he's then ready coming out of his serve to play the ground stroke. Absolutely. But then we've got to make sure that the kids on the other side are able to start returning as well, because every ball hit is a new question, isn't it? But I don't want to hold him back. Absolutely not. I'd like to see him do it in different situations. I'd like to see if he can hit the ball to different directions. Can he do it as well with a sponge ball as this ball? I do believe, like I said earlier, that this ball, it's a false impression that you get through this. All right, you can win too many cheap points. It's got a lot of good things to it, but this ball I don't think helps the serve at all. Okay, so I'd like to see him do it with a sponge ball, and I'd like to see that he can follow it up with a ground stroke or of some sort and see what happens. But absolutely, I want to encourage the serve. Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
also had a big racket, so maybe with a smaller
Of course. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for listening. Is that it, Mike? We done? You're very welcome.
present from us as well.
Thank you, mate. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.